Most men chase women, but the rare ones make women chase them. Not because they're flashy, not because they're rich, but because they carry something deeper, something no one else can offer. This isn't about tricks or games. It's about power, inner power. The kind of presence that makes a woman feel like she needs you, even if she can't explain why. In a world full of noise, validation, and weak men trying too hard, one man stands still, silent, confident, and untouchable. If you want to become the kind of man who never has to beg, never has to prove, and never has to chase, then listen closely. Because what I'm about to share isn't just advice. It's a blueprint, a philosophy, a way of life. And it all starts with one truth every high-value man understands. A stoic man never chases women, because he doesn't need to. 1. A stoic man never chases women. A stoic man doesn't chase, because he understands that chasing is rooted in desperation, not strength. He doesn't run after attention, affection, or approval. Why? Because a man who truly knows his worth doesn't need validation from the outside. He stands firm in who he is. Most men are conditioned to believe that if they don't pursue, they'll lose a woman. They fear that if they don't act fast, someone else will. But what they don't realize is this. The very act of chasing pushes her away. When you chase, you put her on a pedestal. You place her above you, and in doing so, you become replaceable. The stoic man flips the script. He doesn't try to impress. He lives with purpose. His focus isn't on winning her over. It's on building a life that's so grounded, so magnetic, that she naturally gravitates toward him. He becomes a mountain, unmoving, unshaken, while others scramble for attention like leaves in the wind. She doesn't fall for the man who tries too hard. She falls for the man who doesn't need her, but chooses her. There's a difference. When you stop chasing, you reclaim your power. And women can feel that. They can sense when a man is centered, controlled, and not easily swayed by beauty or emotion. It intrigues them. It pulls them in. Because in a world full of men who beg for a woman's time, the man who walks calmly past their chaos stands out. So remember, don't chase. Attract. Don't prove. Just be. You're not here to win her over. You're here to become so aligned with your mission, so rooted in who you are, that the right woman can't help but notice. 2. Women don't chase what they already have. They chase what they feel they're missing. Here's a truth that most men will never be told. Women don't chase what's available. They chase what's scarce. Not because they're cruel, not because they play games, but because that's how human psychology works. We desire most what we can't easily grasp. If you give her everything up front, your time, your attention, your soul, before she's earned it, you've removed the mystery. You've made yourself predictable, safe, ordinary, and nothing about that sparks desire. A stoic man understands this deeply. He knows that value is created through absence just as much as presence. He doesn't flood her world. He echoes through it. Think about it. The sun rises every day and we take it for granted. But a storm that rolls in unannounced, that leaves a mark. You want to be that kind of presence, rare, powerful, unforgettable. What she's missing, that's where you live. If her life is boring, be her spark. If her world is chaotic, be her calm. If her heart is guarded, be the one she can't quite figure out. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be different. Because women aren't drawn to the man who tries to be everything. They're drawn to a man who gives her something no one else dares to offer. Contrast. So stop offering more of the same. Don't sell her what every man is already giving away. Become the one thing she didn't know she needed. Until you showed up. Let her feel your absence just enough to realize how much your presence means. Because once she believes she's missing something that only you can provide, she'll chase. Not out of desire, but out of need. 3. She doesn't need you unless you become something she can't live without. In today's world, women don't need a man to survive. They've got jobs, independence, friends, access to validation at their fingertips. So if you're offering money, compliments, or attention, you're not giving her anything she can't already get on her own. But here's the secret. Emotional necessity is more powerful than physical need. She doesn't need a provider. She needs presence. A man who brings a calm intensity into her life. A man whose energy lingers even after he's left the room. A man she can't explain, but can't stop thinking about. A stoic man doesn't beg to be kept. He becomes unforgettable, not by force, but by substance. He listens more than he speaks. He stays composed when others overreact. He walks away when boundaries are crossed, and means it. And that calm confidence, it's addicting, because while most men flood her world with noise and attention, he offers stillness. While others chase her shadow, he becomes a storm she never saw coming, and now can't ignore, not because he needs her, but because his presence touches something deeper than surface-level attraction. That's what she can't live without. You see, a man of true value doesn't try to be important. He simply is. And when a woman feels emotionally safe, challenged, and seen in your presence, she doesn't just want you. She needs you, not in a desperate way, but in that quiet, haunting way that keeps her up at night, wondering why your absence feels louder than anyone else's words. So no, she doesn't need you, until you become the one thing her soul didn't know it was starving for. For every woman carries an emotional void, and a man with inner strength knows how to find it, no matter how confident she appears, no matter how successful, how admired, or how loved. Every woman carries a void, a quiet emptiness that whispers to her in moments of stillness. It's not weakness. It's human. Some crave validation. Others seek excitement. Many want escape. And some long for a challenge that awakens something deep within them. The average man doesn't see this. He looks at the surface. He reacts to what's obvious. He throws out compliments, plans dates, buys gifts, and hopes something sticks. But the stoic man, he does something rare. He observes. He listens, not just to what she says, but to what she doesn't. He watches how her eyes dim when routine suffocates her. He notices the sighs she lets out after a day of pretending she has it all together. Because he's not here to impress. He's here to understand. And understanding is power. When you can identify the void she hides in the world and fill it, not with noise, but with presence, you become irreplaceable. You see, she might not even know what she's missing until you walk in, meet her silence, and speak to something no one else has touched, not with words, but with who you are. The man with inner strength doesn't chase emotions. He anchors them. He becomes the ground beneath her chaos. And in a world full of men trying to be everything, he becomes the only thing that matters, the answer to the need she never voiced. Because while others fight to be seen, he sees her, and that changes everything. 5. A strong man never gives validation freely. Validation is powerful, but only when it's rare. A strong man understands this. He knows that praise handed out too easily loses its weight. Just like a song on repeat, it fades into background noise. Most men smother women with compliments. Beautiful, gorgeous, you're perfect. They think that validation equals connection. But in reality, it creates boredom. When she knows what you'll say before you say it, you've already lost your edge. A stoic man plays a different game. He doesn't validate to gain approval. He validates with purpose. When he gives a compliment, it lands with impact because she knows he doesn't say it to everyone. She knows he's not trying to win her over. He's simply speaking truth when it matters, and that makes his words feel rare, special, earned. There's a psychological truth called intermittent reinforcement. It's been studied for decades, and here's what it reveals. Unpredictable reward creates the strongest emotional addiction. Not constant praise, not predictable affection, but not knowing when it's coming next. That's what keeps her hooked. It's not about playing games. It's about not overextending your energy to someone who hasn't earned it. It's about respecting your own voice enough to use it wisely. A stoic man isn't cold. He's calibrated. He sees beauty. But he doesn't rush to flatter it, because he knows his words carry weight. And the more selective he is with praise, the more she values every word. So stop throwing your validation like confetti. You're not here to impress. You're here to express truth when it's worthy of being spoken. Because when you do, she doesn't just listen, she leans in. 6. He doesn't act like a clown to entertain her. He creates emotional tension and unpredictability. Most men think attraction comes from being funny, being playful, or being available 24/7. So they joke, they dance, they overcommunicate. They become performers, hoping for applause. But a stoic man, he doesn't perform. He commands presence. You see, laughter fades, but tension, that stays. The right kind of emotional tension, built through subtle unpredictability and masculine self-control, can hook her deeper than any joke ever could. A strong man isn't here to entertain. He's here to be felt. He might be calm one moment, bold the next. Not because he's playing games, but because he's real. Because he's not trying to be digestible or predictable. He's living from depth, not performance. Women don't get addicted to men. They get addicted to the emotional experience those men create. And the men who understand to stop trying to impress and start building an atmosphere, an emotional landscape where she never knows exactly what's coming next, but she knows it's going to make her feel something. Predictability kills passion, but controlled unpredictability, that's what sparks curiosity, desire, and emotional pull. A stoic man holds mystery. He doesn't overshare. He doesn't rush. He reveals himself slowly, intentionally, and that slow reveal creates a powerful emotional rhythm. Tension, curiosity, release, like music, but with presence. The truth is, you don't need to be a clown. You don't need to chase her laughter. You need to lead her into an emotional space no one else dares to take her. Because when a man doesn't fear silence, when he doesn't dance for approval, when he simply is rooted, centered, a little unpredictable, she can't help but be drawn in. 7. He becomes her escape, not her burden. Life weighs on her. Deadlines, expectations, family drama, body image, social pressure. Even when she smiles, she's carrying something. Most men see her beauty, but they miss her burden. They try to impress her, flirt with her, or win her over with effort. What they don't realize is she's not looking for more noise. She's looking for peace. And that's exactly what a stoic man provides. He doesn't rush in with answers. He doesn't try to fix her. He simply shows up calm, grounded, solid, not to be another task on her plate, but to be the space where she can finally exhale. When a man becomes her escape from the weight of the world, he becomes impossible to forget because, unlike others, he's not fighting for attention. He's not adding pressure. He's subtracting it. He's the one who doesn't judge when she drops the mask, who listens when she finally speaks her truth, who holds her, not physically first, but emotionally. And that kind of safety, that kind of stillness, it's rare, it's addicting, it's powerful. Being her escape doesn't mean being her therapist. It means being the man whose energy helps her breathe easier, the one who reminds her that not every moment needs to be a performance, that she can just be around you, and that's enough. In a world that constantly demands more from her, you become the place that demands nothing, yet gives everything that matters. So stop trying to entertain her. Stop trying to solve her. Be the calm in her chaos. Be the break in her storm. Because when she finds peace in your presence, she'll crave it like oxygen. 8. He is a challenge, never a reward handed out for free. Let's be real. Most men are too easy. They fall over themselves at the first sign of attention, a look, a smile, a reply to a message. And suddenly, they're available 24/7, pouring out compliments like it's candy on Halloween. But here's the truth. Women don't chase what's easy. They don't respect what's handed to them. They value what they had to earn. A stoic man doesn't give himself away. He's not cold. He's not arrogant. He's just intentional. He knows his energy is a privilege, not a prize on clearance. So he moves with discipline, with patience, with quiet confidence. Not everyone gets access, and especially not immediately. That's what makes him a challenge. And women, they're drawn to challenge. Not because they love difficulty, but because deep down, They want to feel worthy of what they earn. The man who makes her work for his time, his attention, his approval. He creates emotional investment. That's not a game. That's psychology. People value what's scarce, what they had to fight for, what they couldn't figure out right away. So when you set standards, when you don't bend just because she's pretty, when you hold your ground and stand on your principles, you're no longer just another guy in her inbox. You become the exception. A stoic man is not a reward for effort. He is the test. And only those who show up with respect, authenticity, and real value pass. Let them wonder. Let them earn you. You are the mountain, not the trail. 9. He observes, listens, and understands without overreacting. In a world full of noise, real power is quiet. While most men rush to speak, interrupt, impress, the stoic man watches. He listens. He reads between the lines. He doesn't need to dominate every conversation. He doesn't react to every word, every shift in tone, every subtle change in mood, because he understands this. Emotions are not commands. They're information. And the man who can sit with that information without losing his ground wins. Women don't open up to men who always speak. They open up to men who make them feel seen without being judged. And when a woman feels truly understood, that connection goes beyond words. It becomes instinctual. A strong man doesn't ask 50 questions. He watches what she repeats. He notes what she avoids. He pays attention to how her body tenses when certain topics come up. He's not fishing for data. He's absorbing truth. And when the time comes to speak, he speaks with precision, not pressure, because he knows. The more you react, the less control you have. The more you chase clarity in the moment, the more you miss the meaning beneath it. Silence isn't weakness. It's strength in disguise. It's the pause that allows insight to form and wisdom to surface. A stoic man is the one who doesn't flinch when emotions rise. He doesn't panic when a woman tests his frame. He doesn't chase peace, he embodies it. And because of that, he becomes the one man she can trust when everything else feels chaotic. The calm observer, the still presence, the quiet protector. 10. And above all, he controls himself before he ever tries to control her. A man who can't master himself has no business trying to influence anyone else. Control isn't about dominance. It's not about raising your voice, setting rules, or making demands. It's about discipline, self-command, inner stillness. The stoic man doesn't seek to control women. He controls his reactions, his emotions, his energy. And in doing so, he becomes the one who cannot be shaken. He doesn't spiral when he's tested. He doesn't lose himself in her beauty, her mood, or her attention, because his center isn't built on her. It's built on purpose. His identity is not something she validates. It's something he earned in solitude, through choices, through consistency. And here's the paradox. The man who seeks to control no one is the man everyone feels safe around, because he isn't ruled by impulse. He isn't led by fear. He leads himself. And in a world full of men chasing women, he walks alone until someone worthy walks beside him. So if you take one thing from this message, let it be this. Before you expect her to follow your lead, make sure you're not lost yourself. Because once you master your own mind, you'll never beg for love again. You won't need to. If this message spoke to something deep in you, then it's time to level up. Drop a comment below. I lead myself first. Like this video if you're done chasing and ready to attract. Subscribe for more real talk on inner strength, discipline, and becoming a man of substance. Until next time, be quiet, be still, be powerful,